Hello, my name is Nudie. This is superautopets. We play Arena. It's what we do. However, today something a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and talk about some sleeper units that I feel like are going to be included in the next expansion and the new custom packs coming to superautopets. I'm not going to go through all of the pets. That's what this video is for. If you do want to see a detailed list of all the new pets and even some of the custom packs, though I think he missed them, I would recommend checking out Super Auto Gaming. I think he did a good job of showing you sort of the pros and cons of the new expansion. So anyways, let's hop right into it. What is a sleeper unit? What is a sleeper pet? A sleeper is essentially a unit or a pet that you think looks bad on the outside. By reading the flavor text, you think, no, 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 this is a trap unit, which in reality I believe is actually going to be a really good unit and that we'll actually see in the meta going forwards. So let's hop right into it. This is going to be probably a little bit of editing just to break down each unit. It's a lot of talking. This video is just me talking, okay? So if you don't like my voice, you can go away right now. Anyways, let's hop right into it. First of all, let's start with tier 1. I think the pill bug 1-1 tier 1 is actually going to be pretty good. So the ability is to upgrade the shop tier, give the 2 pets behind plus 1 HP. And then as the pill bug levels up, it's go ahead and scale that to 2 and 3 HP. So I think anytime that you just have a free ability, which this one will be, right? It's a 1-1 unit. I get that. The stat line's not great, but every time as you just naturally progress through the game, you're going to get benefits of the pets behind it, right? And I think because of the flavor of so much of this new pet style is going to be percentage-based scaling, additionally with easily available attack, and then also lots of feints ability. Getting the HP is going to be probably the most difficult thing, and I think if you can get HP in the early game, such as using Pillbug, and that continuously gets value until like the mid game where you can maybe sell it and pivot to something else, you're going to get a lot more value trades. So that's why I think Pillbug's going to be a sleeper. Let me know if you agree or not. All right, let's go to tier 2. Tier 2 is going to be the Pug. A 3-3. That is an amazing stat line for tier 2. I promise you, it's a good stat line. And its ability is at the start of battle, give a friend ahead experience. So when you level it up, it gives it 2 experience and 3 experience. That's not necessarily going to be the end game for this unit, right? So Pug, even at its level 1 ability, is very, very strong. You sort of have a half invested feint unit, right? And we can talk about later in another choice that I have that's going to synergize really well with this. So the fact that the Pug could go ahead and in just the combat phase give a potential feint unit another level up is going to give like a crazy amount of tempo and a lot of really good abilities in that combat phase that's going to allow you to win that early game. So much of this meta, I think, is going to be mid-game tempo plays more than anything else. So I think it's going to be play really greedy and play very mid-game, and then you'll be able to get to the late game to do these massive pivot turns and then to play as greedy as I do. All right, let's move on to tier 3. Tier 3 is a Wasp, a 2-2. Its ability is when you upgrade the shop tier, gain 50% more attack. And then when you also level it up, you get 100 and then 150 more attack. So it essentially multiplies its ability, right? So if it's a 2-2 and then you upgrade the shop tier, right, you get to the tier 4 shop, it's going to give it like a 3-2, right? Doesn't seem that good. However, you're going to be able to scale this with other relevant things like the strawberry stuff that we all know is just going to be haywire and everything else that you can do percentage scaling. But the fact that you can get a tier 3 unit that potentially can get to the 50 cap like almost immediately, I think we're sleeping on this. I think the Wasp can hit 50 attack relatively quickly, based on the natural progression of the game. That people are sleeping on it because this is a tank killer. And I think we're looking at a tier 3 that can show up in your late game build is fantastic. And I think people are going to be sleeping on this Wasp. And I think it's actually going to be a lot more useful than people realize. All right, let's go to tier 4. Tier 4 is what I kind of referenced earlier for the Pug, and that is the Anteater. So tier 4 is like it's very, very stacked. Tier 4 is probably the strongest tier of all the pets, right? Tier 4 is extremely strong now. Tier 5 is kind of lacking, and then Tier 6 is also very good. But let's talk about the Anteater. Anteater is a 3-2. It's a feint ability with summoning 2 ants, right? So an ant is a 2-1 that when it fades also provides a 2-1 buff. So the fact that this Anteater is just like a source of just a crazy amount of stats is fantastic, and I definitely think it's worth leveling up. And then you can also combine it with the Pug for just insane tempo plays. Tier 4, what is that? That's turn 7, right? At the point of between turn 7 and turn 10, like right before you hit that cusp of being able to buy tier 6s in the shop, Anteater is going to be king. Anteater is going to just carry you through those turns and not lose any HP so that you can play greedy, start investing in other things, and get to that late game pivot turn that you're looking for. Granted, with talking about playing greedy and pivoting, let's move to tier 5, which is the Crow, which is a 3-3. Once again, you can notice that a lot of the baseline stats of these pets is very bad, and that's okay. All the value comes out of their abilities. So what's the Crow? The Crow is a bird. No, I'm just kidding. It's a sell ability that replaces the food shop with 1 chocolate, and if you level it up, you get 2 chocolates or 3 chocolates. This is something that you need to invest in, right? This is your retirement fund right here, right? So I definitely think Crow is worth investing in. Crow's gonna be extremely good. It's a very greedy play, but that's what I do. That's how I play. I'm a greedy player. This is gonna be an amazing pet that you just invest in and let everything else around you scale to go ahead and try to stabilize or continue to draw so that when you hit those tier 6s, you can just dump the Crow, just invest those chocolates into whatever your engine is, and then just win the game. So I think Crow is definitely a win condition. And generally, people are really disliking the Crow based off of the Discord and other conversations that I've been part of. People are like, no, Crow's not worth it. Crow is definitely worth it. All right, and then tier 6, this is probably my hottest take. I like vehemently, I think like people like in the general community, both in my Discord and in the SAP Discord, are not liking Hammer Shark at all. They think it's bad. I think Hammer Shark might be the best tier 6 for its ability to enable opportunities of any pivot late game build, right? So you can buy into something and then that like you're sort of pigeonholed. This gives you the flexibility to do a lot of different things. A lot of what this flavor of this expansion is going to be is buy what you have, continue to invest in it, and then so you will see a lot of level 2s, level 3s, and potentially you want to get as many level 3s so that you can have that massive pivot turn with the Hammer Shark, right? So the start of a turn, even at level 1, gives you 1 gold per level 3 pet. So you're looking at its ability potentially just being like a level 3 Swan at its tier 1 level. And I definitely think it's worth investing if you can find 2. I don't think this ever gets to a level 3, but the fact that you can get a level 2 potentially to then sell everything off, or at least sell the Hammer Shark and then pivot and use that additional, 3 to 6 gold to get to something else that would be your late game build is very beneficial. It's not necessarily the strongest unit in itself, but its ability allows you to be flexible and have the opportunity to pivot to somewhere else, which if you're a good player, you're going to recognize is very important, and that you're able to have that flexibility and knowledge to be able to just like do whatever you want. So, hey, did you agree with any of my decisions? Do you agree that these are sleepers? Are you saying Nudic, you're off your rocker? Go back to your cave, buddy. You don't know what you're talking about. That could be the truth. But hey, this is all theory crafting. I haven't had a ton of time to actually play with these pets because the test servers are currently down, and I just played a little bit the night before, and I didn't really have a lot of opportunity to test them out. But I think people are going to be sleeping on these pets. I think they're great choices for your builds, and I'm excited to go and play with them. So if you don't have any disagreements or agreements with me, just let me know what pet you're most excited to play with, and I'll catch you next time. All right, pieces.